à tous, c'est Marie de Just French It. In this video, what I'm going to show you is that I'm going to show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 apps that you can put on your smartphone, would it be an Android or an Apple, and that you can use to learn French. So those are apps that I use or I used personally or that I'm going to recommend to you as well. And you're going to see there are a couple of alternatives for the ones that you want. So, if you don't know me, I am Marie, I am a French native speaker, as you can hear, and I am a French teacher. I teach French to adults all over the internet, so on YouTube, but I also give, French classes, and if you are interested in that, you can check the description below. I also offer courses that you can follow if you are lacking specific skills in French, like pronunciation, or if you're not very comfortable with grammar, or if you just simply would like to get started really quickly. So let's get into the topic of this week's video. And so 7 apps. The first app that I'm going to show you, I'm showing you on my computer, but you can totally put them on your phone. It's just that it's a little bit more practical this way. So the first app that is, according to me, and I think personally, one of the best apps that you can get on your phone if you are learning any language, and it is wordreference.com. Wordreference.com is a free dictionary for English, French, but they also have, plenty of other languages. If you click here, they have Spanish, they have Catalan, German, Dutch, Swedish, Russian, Portuguese, they have tons and tons of languages. So whatever your native language is, you can actually translate words into French with word reference, which is why it is so great. And I'm recommending word reference specifically because in word reference you get actually more than just translation. It's a dictionary, which means that you have examples, you have the function and, well, no, not the function, the nature of the word that you are looking for. For example, this word in specifically tondeuse, depending on, the context, is a noun, a feminine noun. Okay, so that you know how to use it. If you know a bit your grammar, you know how to use it and how to form sentences with it according to the nature of the word. You have several translations per word because of obviously in French and in any other language, one word does not equal one meaning, right? And so one English word does not equal one French word. So you're going to have to find the right one, and word reference is going to help you do that. Much more than what Google Translate could do to you. Google Translate has some advantages too as well, but I'd rather you use word references when you are looking for words rather than Google Translate. And I'll probably make a video on how to use Google Translate properly. So that was the first app that you need to have on your phone. It's word reference. Then you have Anki. Actually, I have a couple of alternatives for that. I have 3 apps and you can choose whatever apps you prefer. There's Anki. Anki is enabling you to create a stack of words, or flashcards actually. It works exactly like flashcards. Anki, Memrise, and Tiny Cards, which I'm going to show you in a minute, are all flashcard sort of apps. So you create stacks and then you learn from those flashcards according to the last time that you learned them, if you remembered them or not. Anki is enable you to do that. On Anki, what actually is interesting is that you can find stacks that people have already done. So, you don't have to create your own stack, but you can create also your own stack of flashcards if you want, which I am going to recommend to you if you want to learn French and be able to speak French for whatever specific goal you have in mind. So there is either for you, if you are looking for a flashcard app, Anki. Then there is Memrise. Memrise is a little bit more design than Anki. It's a little bit more user-friendly in a lot of ways. I prefer Memrise personally, but that's totally up to you. On Memrise, you are going to find stacks of things already done, and I believe that on the free version you can do your stack as well. Anki is totally free, by the way. There is no paying anything. On Memrise, you can, have a premium sort of thing, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't used those apps in a while because I'm using Drops, which I'll show you in a bit. for learning Swedish. But with Memrise, it's exactly the same principle as Anki. You create stacks of cards and you have to learn them to not forget them, or to review them, not to forget them. So here you choose your language. So here again they have different languages, French. They also have Arabic, Polish, Chinese, Russian, Icelandic, Slovenian, which usually is not so representative represented in language learning apps. Swedish, Korean, and etc. etc. So you choose your language and you go on with Memrise. Again, it's available. I'm showing you the websites, but you can totally download this on your phone or on your phone, on your smartphone, or on your tablet as well. The third app that is flashcard based is the app by Duolingo, and it is TinyCard. It's a rather new app. I believe it was launched last year or the year before. So it hasn't been around for as long as Memrise or Anki, for example. But it's interesting. Here they call the stacks decks, and maybe it's just me calling them stacks. I don't know. You tell me in the comments. But anyway, so on TinyCard you go and you create your stacks yourself, or you search for some. It's not entirely just for languages, as is Memrise and Anki. So you can actually learn plenty of different things on there. But what I like about TinyCards is the real simplicity of the thing. It's like Duolingo. It's very designed. It's maybe a bit childish, but at least, it's not overly complicated, and there isn't a lot of different features that you can, mess up with or all those things. This is straightforward kind of learning with TinyCards. So for the three flashcards kind of app, you have Anki, Memrise, and TinyCards. Now there are two apps that I'm going to recommend to you if you want to have some sort of a learning place where you go and you learn words. So not necessarily from flashcards, because those flashcards you are going to fill with the words that you learn. And there are two apps, and they're both very well known. It's Duolingo, obviously. It's very popular, and for good reason. If you are a beginner, then I suggest you start at least with Duolingo a bit, so that you get to know and you get to type and ask questions and things like this in French, and you get to hear what certain words sound like as well. On Duolingo, you're not going to find a specific explanation about grammar, pronunciation, and all of this, but you are going to learn sentences and words, and you are going to revise them and review them until you really know them. So it's a good idea to start for a few months with Duolingo every day, and it's actually fun to do, so I don't know why you wouldn't do it. My favorite actually app like this is Drops. I prefer Drops to Duolingo because I can actually choose the theme that I'm learning from the beginning. From Duolingo, you sort of have a tree, and you have to follow everything if you want to go to the next level afterwards, or more or less everything. On Drops, you can really, you pick, for example, tourist words or food words or essential words, and you have 5 minutes per day for free. And I believe that's just enough to get started and to get a few words, like bonjour, comment ça va, je suis, je m'appelle, etc. All those things, those essential things that you generally start with when you're starting a language, although you don't have to. On Drops, you're going to find them, but you're also going to be able to add other themes, over specific things. For example, if you want to learn French to be able to speak with your family, then probably the tourist thing is not going to be good for you. Just, do the food thing instead at the beginning. Do the food stack and learn how to say a fork. I can see them here, so it's the first examples that come to mind, but a fork, an egg, bread, things like this. This is the kind of vocabulary you are likely to actually use more if you want to learn French with your family. So Drops, if you want to be specific from the beginning. Duolingo, if you're looking to, get a feel of what a language actually is like. So those are the two apps if you want to learn. And then once you learn a few words, once you have memorized them with those flashcard apps, once you have, word reference next to you so that you can feel strong and supported, you can start speaking with people. It doesn't have to be, don't panic, doesn't have to be huge conversation from the beginning. It can just be a little hello, how are you? My name is da 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 da. Okay? And on Hello Talk you can do that. Okay, Hello Talk though is a sort of community of people, so you're going to find a lot of different people. It can be hard if you want to find a pen pal, for example, or someone to follow you around for a long time, but you can totally train the basics with people on Hello Talk. And that's it. So once you know enough to be able to have a short conversation, just train it straight away. Even better than Hello Talk would be to actually take a teacher. That would be amazing. And for that, you have other websites such as italki, or even, just speaking, sending me a message, because I do that as well. Sending me a message, and I have a few slots open for this summer. So if you want to, learn French with me, send me an email. My email is in the description below the video. And I'll be ready to, take you on for the summer. So that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 apps. You have word reference. This is a definite basics that you need on your phone. Then Anki, Memrise, or Tiny Cards, depending on which one you like the best. Duolingo and Drops, or both if you want to, if you want to get started really quickly. And then once you are able to hold a small conversation, then you can start with Hello Talk, or you can just send me a message. Okay, good. So I'll leave you on that. If you want to take your French to the next level, remember that I send daily emails which are filled with, motivation, with specific resources, with links to things that you need to know if you are learning French, with how to make your French learning more enjoyable, quicker, and everything. So if you want to take your French to the next level, sign up for the daily emails, and I'll be in your inbox tomorrow morning. Okay, bye-bye.